Okay, people, gather round. We have some groundbreaking news to discuss today. We need to talk about Venus. You know, that second planet from the Sun, often overshadowed by its more famous neighbor Mars. Yeah, that planet that's basically a furnace. With surface temperatures hot enough to melt lead, Venus has always been considered inhospitable. But recent discoveries have turned our understanding of Venus on its head. Scientists have found something intriguing in its atmosphere. They detected phosphine, a gas that, on Earth, is primarily associated with life. This discovery has sparked a flurry of excitement and debate in the scientific community. Imagine life on a planet where you'd melt before you could say, "Is it hot in here?" The conditions on Venus are extreme, with crushing atmospheric pressure and clouds of sulfuric acid. Crazy, but hear me out. The presence of phosphine could indicate microbial life in the upper cloud layers of Venus, where temperatures and pressures are less extreme. This discovery has led to renewed interest in Venus exploration. Scientists are now proposing new missions to study the planet's atmosphere in greater detail. Future missions could involve sending probes to sample the atmosphere directly, or even deploying aerial platforms to hover in the more temperate cloud layers. These missions could provide definitive answers about the presence of life on Venus and help us understand the planet's complex atmospheric chemistry. Venus has long been a target of exploration, with missions dating back to the early days of space exploration. But this new discovery has reignited our curiosity and sense of wonder. As we continue to explore our solar system, Venus reminds us that there are still many mysteries to uncover, even on our closest planetary neighbors. So, stay tuned, because the story of Venus is far from over. Who knows what other secrets this fiery planet might hold? The universe is full of surprises, and Venus might just be the hottest one yet. First things first, let's talk about phosphine. You might not have heard much about it, but it's a fascinating and somewhat mysterious gas that has recently captured the attention of scientists and space enthusiasts alike. No, it's not a new dating app, it's a gas. A colorless, flammable, and toxic gas, to be precise. Phosphine is made up of one phosphorus atom and three hydrogen atoms, giving it the chemical formula pH3, and not a glamorous one either. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Phosphine is notorious for its foul odor. Phosphine smells like garlic and dead fish had a baby. Imagine the worst smell you've ever encountered, and then multiply it by 10. That's phosphine for you. Not exactly Chanel No. 5, you definitely wouldn't want to bottle it up and wear it as a fragrance, but despite its unpleasant smell, phosphine has some intriguing properties. But here's the thing. On Earth, phosphine is often linked to living things. It's produced by certain types of anaerobic bacteria, which thrive in environments devoid of oxygen, such as swamps, marshes, and even the intestines of animals. So, finding phosphine in space is a big deal. When scientists detected phosphine in the atmosphere of Venus, it sparked a flurry of excitement and debate. Could it be a sign of life, or is there another explanation? It's like seeing a vacancy sign outside a hotel in the middle of the desert. Could mean someone's home. The presence of phosphine on Venus challenges our understanding of the planet and raises the possibility that life, in some form, might exist in its harsh, acidic clouds. Researchers are now delving deeper into this mystery, using advanced technology and innovative methods to study the chemical composition of Venus's atmosphere. They're also considering other potential sources of phosphine, such as volcanic activity or chemical reactions that don't involve life. The discovery of phosphine on Venus is a reminder of how much we still have to learn about our neighboring planets and the potential for life beyond Earth. It encourages us to keep exploring, questioning, and pushing the boundaries of our knowledge. Who knows what other surprises the universe has in store for us? As we continue to search for signs of life in the cosmos, phosphine serves as a tantalizing clue that we might not be alone after all. So, the next time you hear about phosphine, remember that it's more than just a smelly gas. It's a potential indicator of life and a symbol of the endless possibilities that await us in the vast expanse of space. The universe is full of mysteries, and phosphine is just one piece of the puzzle. Let's keep exploring and see where the journey takes us. Now back to Venus. This planet is intense. Venus, often called Earth's twin because of its similar size and proximity, is anything but a twin when it comes to its environment. Imagine a place where the air is so thick and hot that it could melt metal. That's Venus for you. We're talking surface temperatures hot enough to melt lead. The average temperature on Venus is around 900 degrees Fahrenheit, which is hotter than the surface of Mercury, even though Mercury is closer to the Sun. This extreme heat is due to the runaway greenhouse effect caused by its dense atmosphere. The atmosphere is mostly carbon dioxide, which is basically a giant heat trap. These thick clouds of CO2 prevent heat from escaping, creating a pressure cooker effect. The clouds also contain sulfuric acid, making the environment even more hostile. It's like a never-ending, supercharged greenhouse effect. Plus, the atmospheric pressure is 90 times that of Earth. To put that into perspective, it's like the pressure you'd experience 3,000 feet underwater. This immense pressure would crush most human-made objects, making exploration extremely challenging. That means standing on Venus would feel like being a mile under the ocean. Imagine the weight of an entire ocean pressing down on you. It's a crushing, suffocating experience that no human could survive without specialized equipment. Not exactly a relaxing beach vacation. The surface is rocky and barren with volcanic plains and mountains. The landscape is dotted with craters and lava flows, making it a treacherous terrain. Forget about palm trees and sandy shores. Venus is more like a hellish desert. So, yeah, not the most hospitable place. Or so we thought. Despite its extreme conditions, scientists are intrigued by the possibility of microbial life in the upper atmosphere, where temperatures and pressures are less extreme. Recent studies have even suggested the presence of phosphine, a potential biosignature gas. While Venus may not be a vacation spot, it remains a fascinating subject of study, challenging our understanding of what makes a planet habitable. But here's the thing about life. It's sneaky. It finds a way. We've found life in all sorts of extreme environments on Earth. Boiling hot springs? Check. Freezing cold glaciers? Check. So maybe, just maybe, life on Venus found a way to survive too. It might not look like us. It might not even breathe oxygen. But it could be out there, doing its thing. Remember phosphine, our smelly friend? Well, on Earth, it's often produced by microbes. These are tiny creatures that live in places without much oxygen. Think swamps, bogs, and maybe even your gut after a burrito binge. These microbes make phosphine as a byproduct of their weird and wonderful metabolism. It's like their version of exhaling, except, way less pleasant. So, scientists were observing Venus just doing their usual planet-gazing thing. They were using telescopes to study the Venusian atmosphere. And then, bam, they found it. Phosphine. In the clouds of Venus. This was huge. No one expected to find phosphine on Venus. It was like finding a penguin in the Sahara Desert. Something was up. Something that just didn't make sense. Section 7. Could it be aliens? Okay, probably not. Now I know what you're thinking. Aliens, right? Well, hold your horses. While the possibility of alien life is super exciting, it's important to be realistic. There are other explanations for the phosphine. Maybe there are some weird chemical reactions happening on Venus that we don't understand yet. Venus is a pretty mysterious place, after all. Section 8. Scientists are freaking out in a good way. Still, the discovery of phosphine on Venus has sent shockwaves through the scientific community. It's like finding a treasure map to a whole new world of possibilities. Scientists are now scrambling to study Venus in more detail. They're developing new missions, building better telescopes, and running all sorts of simulations. Everyone wants to know what's creating that phosphine. Section 9. The future of Venus exploration. Time for a visit. The discovery of phosphine has put Venus back on the map, literally. Space agencies around the world are now planning new missions to study our mysterious neighbor. These missions will analyze the Venusian atmosphere, map the surface in high resolution, and maybe even send a lander to collect samples. It's going to be an exciting time for Venus exploration. Section 10. Conclusion: Life on Venus. Stay tuned. So, is there life on Venus? The truth is, we don't know yet. But the discovery of phosphine is a tantalizing clue. It's a sign that Venus might be a lot more interesting than we thought. This is just the beginning of the story. Stay tuned because the next chapter promises to be even more exciting. Who knows what secrets Venus is hiding?